11.
And a great Thursday evening to you. We appreciate you staying up with us. I'm John Hart. We're going to check in with Brad Means here in just a moment.
And I'm Kimberly Scott in for Jenny Montgomery. Thank you for joining us.
Coverage you can count on begins in the Palmetto State, where Republicans hoping for the nomination for president are making last-ditch pitches for your vote ahead of Saturday's big primary. And that is where we find Brad Means covering the conservative convention in Greenville.
If Thursday's turnout is any indication, Saturday will be a busy day at the polls. Long lines of patient people waiting to hear from the candidates.
For the candidates, this may just be one more stop on the campaign trail. But for lots of these voters, this could be their last shot, their last opportunity to figure out who they're going to support on Saturday.
I'm a mom and a grandmother, and I'm trying to set an example for my kids. I think this is going to be a real historical presidential election, and I want my kids and my grandchildren to see I was involved and that I cared.
My hopes are to learn a lot more about the more conservative people in the group that we have here.
I want to see what they have to say and if there's anything else they can say to convince me of what else is supposed to be happening in their upcoming election.
And after they made it in, the candidates tried to make it worth the wait.
I believe that there is an American way. There is an American dream. Have you noticed that there's no other dream? What other country has a dream? Other countries have nightmares, but nobody else has a dream, you know? And it is something that we need to be very careful to preserve.
The headliners firing up the crowd by hitting the hot topics. And the man who got the biggest roar of the night, Ted Cruz.
Defend the Constitution, repeal Obamacare, and kill the terrorists.
The final candidate, by far the crowd favorite.
We love God, and we are fed up with the damage and destruction coming from the corrupt politicians in Washington.
Next stop, the polls. A time to find out if a fired-up Thursday will bring a successful Saturday. In Greenville, South Carolina, Brad Means, WJBF News Channel 6.
Now, if you notice, there were supposed to be 3 candidates there. You only counted 2. Senator Marco Rubio was supposed to show up for tonight's event, but organizers say he canceled 5 minutes before he was supposed to go on stage.
New tonight at 11, Hillary Clinton is expected to pick up a major endorsement in South Carolina tomorrow. Congressman James Clyburn is expected to officially throw his support behind Clinton. A personal close friend or someone close to the Clyburn camp tells the Associated Press that he will make the announcement tomorrow morning in a press conference at Allen University in Columbia. Clyburn represents Bamberg County, which is in our viewing area. He's been a South Carolina congressman for 23 years. The endorsement comes 24 hours before the Nevada caucus for Democrats.
Georgia Senator David Perdue is praising Augusta as a city the federal government could learn from. Perdue was the keynote speaker for the annual Metro Augusta Chamber dinner tonight. Chris Gordaro was there and live in our newsroom now. Chris.
Well, John, the senator says Augusta is a city on the move with all the developments made in recent years. He also tackled several political subjects, including who should appoint the next Supreme Court justice after Judge Scalia's death.
Senator Perdue made it very clear Thursday that he thinks the president should allow voters to decide the next Supreme Court justice in November.
The nomination of the next justice to the Supreme Court should be a referendum, and let the American people, through our election process this fall, determine that. And I think that's the best thing to do right now, and that's why I came out today.
Perdue heaped praises on Augusta's Chamber of Commerce for the new business that it's attracted.
Augusta's on the move. If you look at what's happening, the Textron announcement today, you've got ADP recently, Unisys, the Cyber Warfare Center, the Army Cyber Warfare Centers here, and the NSA. I mean, there's a lot of dynamic growth going on in Augusta.
The new chamber chairman echoes Perdue's sentiment. He says Augusta will prosper in the coming years.
Having a great workforce and having a place that employees have an affordable place to live, that's why businesses come to places like Augusta. So exciting things lay ahead for us.
Senator Perdue told the chamber that big government doesn't do what they are doing in Augusta. He says Augusta is a role model for how a city can develop naturally.
I believe in capitalism, and Augusta is a great example of a community that believes in that and establish the things that need to be established in order to attract jobs and attract growth. There's a lot that the federal government can learn from the city of Augusta.
Senator Perdue hasn't endorsed any presidential candidates yet, but did say he's frustrated with candidates ignoring the debt crisis in America. Chris Guardaro, News Channel 6.
Right now, clear and cool across Georgia, Carolina. Jiffy Lube Skyview Network, 39 degrees. Winds are calm as we check out Bobby Jones Expressway. Skies are dry, no rainfall across the entire CSR region. And as you head out tomorrow morning, you're in good shape. It'll be a cool start, though. Sunny and 30, 56 at noon. Looking for a high temperature of 64. And those winds out of the east right around 5 miles an hour. So a great way to start the weekend with plenty of sun, a nice cool start, and a nice mild finish as we wrap up our Friday and look forward to our Saturday and Sunday. Standing by, meteorologist Chris Still with more on today's forecast. And if you're hitting the road, well, Chris is going to take a look at the weather forecast for that too. Chris?
Yeah, we are. Today's weather looking a lot like tomorrow's going to be temperature-wise. Take a look at our observed high and low temperatures from the television park storm spotters today. Low temperatures cool like they're going to be in the morning with lows mainly in the 30s. 35 the low this morning from Rhonda and Hephzibah. Leroy and Irene reporting 34 in the morning. Afternoon high of 60. South Carolina looking pretty good too. Melinda there in North Augusta. A chilly, frosty morning there at 36. Afternoon high not too bad at 61. Around the area, we hit 62 degrees in Sylvania. The official high for Augusta goes down as 60 degrees. So tomorrow, there you see, will be a few degrees warmer than it was today. Now, if you are traveling Friday, the weather for the weekend looks great. Not to encourage you to do anything like this, but if you want to play hooky from work on a Friday, you certainly have my blessing. Headed down to Myrtle Beach, a cool day. High temperatures there in the mid-50s, but a lot of sunshine here in central Georgia. 63 in Augusta, 63 over in Atlanta. If you want to head over to Alabama for the weekend, looks like dry weather until about Sunday. Highs around 70 as you head down into Florida. The Sunshine State having highs in the low to mid-70s. And real quick, around the country, we are talking about some pretty nice weather. A little cold front there in the Mississippi Valley. Back to you.
Thanks a lot, Chris. Well, Augusta's fire chief is back on the job and back in the line of fire. Augusta commissioners voted to rehire Chris James after he resigned to take another job. Just didn't work out. Now, James is facing accusations from the Augusta Professional Firefighters Association, claiming that he misused city funds. News Channel 6's Margaret Ann Carter spoke exclusively with the union's former president about the chief's actions.
I just know what the man told me. And I'm just telling you the truth, what he told me.
Chief Chris James is accused of misusing $6 million city dollars by purchasing cheap, problem-plagued KME fire trucks. Lieutenant Randy Reese was president of the Augusta Professional Firefighters Association during that time and says that's not the case.
Okay, when we talked about the KME trucks on the bidding process, there was also people on the committee that wanted certain things written up for certain vendors. Chief made it clear that it was going to be open to any vendor that wanted to put in.
Reese says during the bidding process he didn't receive any complaints from anyone on the committee, but when the trucks arrived they immediately started having problems. Reese says he went to James about the issue and James contacted KME. KME told him they would fix the trucks.
In that same conversation, the chief also stated that he felt like that he was not going to get any more machines from the company because of the problems it was having, and that he was going to take it to the commission not to buy the remaining fire machines.
As a longtime member of the fire department and union, Reese says he's put in a tough place, but he wants people to know the truth about what happened while he was president.
And when we're talking about our chiefs in public, it makes us look bad.
Reporting in a
Margaret Ann Carter there reporting for us. Now, since stepping down as president of the Fire Department Union, Reese says that he hasn't been made aware of any other actions the board has taken, and he doesn't want to comment on other accusations.